Well, the JFK files have been released. Promises made, promises kept, right? This is the big one that we've all been waiting for. So, of course, today I had to go on X and ask you who you think actually killed JFK. We'll start with the replies from Kevin. He said, Ted Cruz's dad. Duh. And I love this because we heard so much about this. And if you want to have anything against Trump, this was one of the funnier things that happened on the campaign trail back in 2016.
You do have to go back. I mean, Trump really did say this or imply in the midst of, and he thinks anything's fair when he's fighting you, right?
Yeah.
He's going to throw whatever out there. I mean, he did really imply that Ted Cruz's father had something to do with the JFK assassination, which does seem hilarious. It seemed hilarious to me then. It's hilarious now in the era of politics we're in. And Ted Cruz has fun with this all the time.
Yeah, I said maybe we should get him on the show, right? That would be a good guest for today.
I remember the Zodiac Killer Babylon
Yes.
B video where
Yes.
Cruz was laughing about it. It's great.
Roy sent in a reply. He said, the Book Depository Museum provides a bunch of conspiracy theories, the Russians, Cubans, CIA, Mafia at its end, but they left off my favorite. LBJ ordered it. I have been to the Book Depository Museum. We are here in Dallas. They have plenty of names. LBJ is definitely not one of the names that's in there.
Look, I'm pretty sure that we're in the studios, former Paramount lot, where Oliver Stone, in part, made JFK. Made a number of movies in Dallas. Now, LBJ, I mean, this is a classic, right? A classic is, and there's various lines that and anecdotes you could point to where LBJ is the one who, Nixon repeatedly saying to someone, hey, I didn't kill someone to become president like he did. That one's out there.
Michael rounds out the replies and he says, everybody knows it was an assault rifle. Kind of taking a page from the leftists always saying, having a little bit of fun with that.
Guns don't kill people. Guns kill people. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the range of opinion on this issue is wild. I mean, it's everything from Russians, Jews, various countries, to different agencies. It's the central conspiracy theory, first, and then I'd put UFOs underneath it for America that was very paranoid coming out of World War II for good reason, because media was very much controlled.
But you have a thesis that it's not just going to be AI going through 80,000 pages, that basically what we have is all of these classified documents. And even though they're out there for the American people to see, there's still so much more that lies beneath the surface of this.
Yeah, so first off, I mean, we have to sort of walk through the logic of many of the conspiracies, right? If you do have powerful interests who assassinate a president, it's probably not going to be a walk in the park to figure that out, right? I don't think that government is usually as efficient as the main problem with conspiracy theories. A lot of them have a lot of truth to them, as we're learning every day now. The main problem, though, is they assume the government has agency and effectiveness that it simply doesn't, or that any powerful figure or interest is able to act in a efficient way that's a little bit over the top, because people are fallen. Human organizations, suck in many ways, and governments especially. So that's, the first problem. But if you do think that there are these powerful interests who put everything together and actually succeed, then you would have to admit it's probably unlikely that one day the government just releases these files and the answers are all readily there, and it's like, oh, we revealed what was behind, the curtain, and now it's all obvious. The likelihood of that happening is just slim to none, even on the premises that Kennedy was assassinated or these conspiracies were perpetrated and successfully. So next level, though, is just to think a little bit about, this is a good time to think about classified documents. I was in the news over the last few years with, Biden, Obama, Trump. Did they have classified information? And the truth of the matter is that pretty much everything's classified. And there's way too much information that's all classified in the government. There's millions and millions of pages of documents that are classified. And government is a very complicated machine. There's a lot of ins and outs. There's a lot of different agencies and departments. Things work in very complicated ways. So whenever you get a document dump, the vast majority of the documents tell you nothing. And in order to piece together what really happened, it's very complicated. Take it as someone who's, started out researching and looking behind the scenes, and even in local governments. I mean, this is not an easy thing to do. So the idea that even if there was a smoking gun that was readily apparent to those in the know, right, and among these 80,000 pages, it could just be found by ChatGPT or Grok, is a little ridiculous. So first off, realize everything is classified. A ton of this stuff needs to become transparent, and finding the truth is very complicated, especially if, in this case, you believe that people have been trying to hide it for decades. Now, so have a little patience, I think, with a lot of these dumps. It's like I keep saying about the Epstein files. There is no collection of documents, right, that you can pull out of the shelf that are the Epstein files. There's a number of documents that were collected over time and are probably scattered all over the place to the extent that they're not being hidden behind, armed guards. So in this case, I think patience is always warranted, and skepticism that the government is going to ever release things that are really condemning, right, itself. Now, you might have people in the government who want to find the truth and release whatever they can, and they'll release things as they find it. But again, it's not like they go into some big library where everything's organized and find the JFK files and give it to you. There are powerful people around over the decades, and powerful interests and powerful agencies that have no doubt scattered information about all kinds of scandals to the four winds, since as long as the government has existed. So this stuff takes time. It takes expertise, and everyone needs to manage their expectations about however many tens of thousands of pages come out. All of a sudden, it's going to be handed to you on a silver platter. I've never seen that happen. It probably never will happen, but hopefully more and more transparency will lead closer and closer to the truth and resolutions on many of these great questions that we have.
Kash Patel, a few years ago in his interview with Glenn Beck, talked about the problem of overclassification. And I think it was interesting. I was talking with Glenn's head writer, Jason Buttrill, in the hallway today. He's the one who, by the way, drew the short straw. He had to go through all of the documents for Glenn. So I imagine it was a very long night for Jason. He's agreed to come on the show next week and talk about it with us. But when you look at all of the issues that are still going to be ongoing, that the CIA can't just go through and release things that they say they still have under current protocol, or hidden things that they still don't want you to know about. He's like, the fact that they have all these documents that they're being released, sure, 80,000 pages, like you're saying, sounds like a lot. Right. But in the grand scheme of things, no, because overclassification is a problem. And then we get Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who is the head of this particular oversight project, where she's supposed to be the one, helping to release all these documents. She's having her team in Congress make sure that they go through and look for all of the discrepancies, and any time that they've hidden things already from Congress. So she's having a problem at the congressional level as well. So if they can't even get it to be just given freely to the members of Congress yet, right? The trickle-down effect, of course, we're not going to get all of those documents just free and clear right away.
Oh yeah, to actually get to the bottom of these things someone has to do a lot of work, and there's two levels of it. One is analysis. Once you get the information, you have to have a lot of knowledge to piece together. You don't even know what's a clue, right? Unless you understand the context of any investigation. So there's a lot of knowledge and analysis. But number one is exactly what you're saying. They hide this stuff from Congress all the time. Congress can't hold them accountable. So, all this stuff would take time. What we do need is to keep on reinforcing that the American people want the actual answers to this stuff. And that's going to require people both within the agencies now on the good team and in Congress to keep pushing.
It's almost like there's an administrative state that they don't want you to have the answers as the American people. It's almost like they set up a completely separate form of government.
An unelected, unaccountable government, the fourth branch of government that really isn't constitutional and has risen over the last 100 years. Where have we heard that before?
Where have we heard that before? I'm definitely going to check out Ned Ryan's documentary, because that sounds incredible. American Leviathan, like he said, it's there on his X page, and it looks like exactly what we're trying to do here on The Mandate. So we're definitely supportive of other people doing that work as well. Yeah,
and look, I should say, I'm going to be gone tomorrow. Obviously, we're giving Bedford the keys to the kingdom tomorrow. And then I'm going to be gone Friday as well. So Jill will be here without me. But next week, I want to just say the new edition of Frontier is out, and it is a doozy. Just look at that cover. How can you do better than one of the best photographers of Elon World on the cover? And this thing is even better than the last one. So you're going to have to check it out.
I have flipped through the pages, and it is incredible. That cover shows you just how good it is.